Inmates of the Ankaful Communicable prisons in the central region have undergone a hand-washing sensitization exercise to reduce the spread of infections and other communicable diseases. TNGO, United Africa Development Aid and Unilever Ghana took the inmates through a series of demonstrations and other hygienic practices to make sure that the proper observance of hygiene practices are observed. Speaking at the handing over of toilet soaps to the inmate, Executive Director of the United Africa Development Aid, Wilfred Sasa, said the NGO and Unilever will continue with such exercises in Ghana's prisons. Richard Kojonyako has more.
The hand-washing exercise is expected to instill in the inmates of the communicable disease prisons at Ankaful some basic hygienic practices to reduce the rate of infections. Executive Director of United Africa Development Aid, Wilfred Sasa, tells JoyNews the gesture would be sustained.
Health and sanitation is one of our problems, and to mark the AU Day, we use this activity to help the inmates here to know how to effectively wash their hands. Because it's a communicable disease prison, they are prone to all manner of diseases. So we just use them to enlighten them about the importance of hand washing. The inmates were very appreciative. They asked a lot of questions, very important questions, which is, I think, it's important that we did this education.
DSP Daniel Egan received the donation of the boxes of soap by Unilever Ghana and promised the inmates will sustain the hand washing before and after meals and also keep some proper hygienic practices.
This place is basically the sick bay for the Ghana Prison Service. It was really established to take care of prisoners who are infected with communicable disease such as scabies, leprosy, tuberculosis. But currently, the most prevalent disease that brings inmates here is tuberculosis. It's very, very helpful. Indeed, prison as it is, it's the government that's supposed to provide such welfare needs to the inmates. But it's not enough. The government alone cannot provide such services. So if you have such NGOs like United Africa Development Aid coming to support us and educate the inmates the need for hand washing, I think it's a very laudable idea, which we also appreciate it very well.
Richard Kojonyako, JoyNews, Cape Coast.
And now 2 judges are sitting in that prison to see if they can reduce the current 75 remand population. The Justice for All program was activated by the judiciary after 2 JoyNews documentaries on the state of Ghana prisons, which highlighted serious overcrowding and inhumane conditions there. Seth Kwame Boateng is with the team. He joins me on the line with more. Seth, first of all, how big is this prison and what is the original capacity?
Considering how big for what is the prison should have been bigger. Here's the place very small, and it's situated in the middle on the center of Boise. The prison ordinarily should accommodate 100 inmates, but now it's talking about close to 300 inmates who are locked up in that prison. As you mentioned, the remand population alone is 75, and that's what the 2 judges have been working on to see how they could get the numbers reduced, and they succeeded in doing that. So they ended the sentence a while ago, and they were able to grant 8 people. They discharged 8 people. 3 were bonded and discharged. Many others were also granted bail surety. But interestingly, most of them had their relatives outside waiting. So those who needed to sign their bail bond and go home were able to do so. But one case that stood out was had to do with 2 gentlemen who were arrested almost 4 years ago. They were alleged to have murdered a 3-year-old girl, but they had not been tried for the period. So, and we understand the AG had also directed that they didn't have enough evidence to prosecute them, so they must be free. But unless the communication that the police have not gotten them, so these people were still locked up, waiting for that letter to come. So, courtesy the Justice for All program, they had their freedom and they left the prison a while ago.
That sounds very interesting. As we speak, Seth, what is happening?
So most of them are getting their bill papers signed. I told you their relatives are there waiting to do that for them because the chairman of the Justice Program, who is an appeal court judge, Justice Clement Onjonika, has directed that all those who are supposed to go home must leave today, and all those who have been granted bail and have people to sign for them can also go today. We don't want any of them staying in the prison for even another night. One other case that came before, for example, court 2, had to do with somebody who had a mental problem, who should ordinarily be at a psychiatric hospital, but he was in prison and he had threatened to kill somebody, and it was a reason he was arrested over a year ago, and he was put in prison instead of being sent to a psychiatric hospital.
So he's been sent to the psychiatry?
Yes, he's been referred.
Right, great. So in total, Seth, how many people appeared before the judges today again?
So, 37.
37
appeared before.
37, and 8 have been discharged?
Discharged, yes. And they granted bail to, they granted bail to quite a number of them. Let me quickly refer my notes that they are all being processed to join their families. I saw some walk away together with their families.
How do they feel? Did you get the chance to talk to them?
Yes, for those who have visited the prisons, for those who have spent even a night there, you would appreciate what freedom is. I remember the two who were discharged, those alleged to have committed murder who were discharged. They were in tears, while their colleagues were excited for them. They were in tears of joy, because for 4 years, no justice, 4 years in that overcrowded space. I forgot to tell you, the cells are meant to occupy just 30, but you go to the cells to find 60, 70 inmates occupying a place meant for 30 people. So you can imagine some sleep on the bed. So it tells you the kind of congestion that is there, and how excited one will be when they
have to go home. Right, Seth, we do appreciate that update. Seth Kwame Boateng there. He, by the way, is a prison ambassador, and he's been following the story since he did that particular story that led to the revival of the Justice for All program. And we know today that at least 8 persons have been discharged. Others have been granted bail as well.